So I was asked in a comment recently to do a video on how to choose a gym, or more like how to start an exercise program, especially if you've been very extremely sedentary. And I actually just got back from the gym, work doing heavy leg training. It was leg day. You know what they say about leg day, friends don't let friends skip leg day. I didn't really want to go, but I did it anyway. And while I was doing my workout this morning, was thinking about that request for how to start a exercise program if you've been very sedentary, because I've battled excessive body fat and excessive weight my whole life. I mean, I remember, being a kid almost failing PE because I couldn't run a mile in a certain arbitrary amount of time. Things like that. I've been dealing with this my whole life, and weirdly, right after high school, within a few years of graduating, I had made a decision to fix the problem. And I have basically now been going to the gym consistently for 15 years. And before that, it was fairly inconsistent, but I eventually got consistent. And so I'm going to talk to you today about some basic steps about how to go from being very sedentary to having a basic exercise routine. And the first step really, if you're carrying a huge amount of extra body fat and you're wanting to get rid of the body fat, first, you need to understand, if you don't fix your diet, there isn't any real point. Yes, there are these things called dirty bulks and things like that people do at the gym, where they eat functionally a high-calorie, dirty, standard American diet, and they get really strong. They pack on a lot of body fat while doing it. But you got to get the nutrition part fixed first. Nutrition is at least 90% of fat loss, if not 95 or more percent. So you have to get your nutrition game on point. And this is a carnivore channel. I advocate the carnivore diet. I also advocate the keto diet for people who, aren't ready to fully commit to carnivore. Those things will help. And already I can see some objections, people saying you need carbohydrates to build muscle. That's a myth. You do not need carbohydrates to build muscle. I've put on muscle mass this year being 100% carnivore. It's a myth. You just don't need it. But first and foremost, you really need to get the nutrition game on point. Otherwise, you're basically wasting your time. But really, the first thing you really should do is see your doctor. Let them know what you're planning to do, that you plan to start exercising. A lot of doctors don't like keto and carnivore diets. It's probably a good time to start trying to use the online resources out there to find one, and ask them generally what to be aware of. Again, this is if you haven't had a background in exercise before. And so the second is, given that you've had no history of exercise, or it's been a very, very, very long time, and you live a very, very sedentary life, I'm going to suggest you start with light exercise. And by light exercise, I mean begin walking. Go buy one of those cheap steps calculator that tells you how much you've walked every day. The typical person, they keep telling us, should walk 10,000 steps a day, or so we're told. It seems like an arbitrary number, but it's actually not that much walking. If you track it, it's just more than we're used to walking, because we spend most of our days sitting in chairs in front of computers all day, or on our couches. And that by itself will help you a lot. Make headway on that goal before anything else. In fact, if you get that steps calculator, wear it for a week without changing anything, just to see how little you actually walk. To commit to those 10,000 steps, if that means getting a gym membership to make that easier, do it. Pretty much every gym, except some powerlifting gyms and CrossFit gyms, are going to have treadmills. And some gym memberships are very, very, very cheap. Like Planet Fitness is like $10 a month. And I am not an advocate for Planet Fitness personally, for most people who want a traditional weightlifting gym. But if you just want to be able to do your walking every day and have some light weights to access to, Planet Fitness is fine. If you have to drive a few minutes to a gym and walk on their treadmills to stay motivated, do that. Or use their exercise bikes. The people who work there will show you how to use them properly. And frankly, if you are in that position where you're only going to be able to walk at the beginning for only 2 minutes, before you have to stop and sit down for a few minutes and get back up and do it again, fine. You can go online if you feel like really self-conscious about this. You can go onto Google, type in the gym that you're looking at, and it'll show the address, but it oftentimes will also give you like a bar graph that'll show you the time of day and how busy these places are at what times. And then you can maybe, if you feel very self-conscious, go when there's the least amount of people there. It's not a problem I've ever run into because, truth be told, if you go in, someone who is clearly not in the best shape, the regulars there, they'll start getting respect for you if you start coming in consistently. If they start seeing you on a regular basis, they'll see someone's got motivation to better their life. That's all that a gym really is for, is really just giving you the best quality of life you can have. But if you have to, when you're there, walk 2 minutes, stop for a couple minutes, and then walk some more, and then stop again and walk some more. Do it. Just do it. All I'm saying. And the third is have a plan. And this is where I'm going to tell you this. I'm not advocating cardio. This is not an advocacy for cardio. I'm just telling you, get to the baseline of what people should be doing. But after that, you need to have a plan. What kind of exercise program do you want? What do you want out of an exercise program? Are you wanting to build strength, just basic strength, so that you are stronger and you have more muscle on you? Because metabolically, your body uses more calories, quote unquote, to maintain muscle mass than it does body fat. Do you want like Hulk strength? Do you want huge muscles? You're looking for endurance more than anything else. There are training programs for different exercise purposes and for different goals. And so you should do some research. There are some YouTube channels that I recommend for these different kinds of things. One of them being like Athlean X, where it's a personal trainer who's also a physical therapist. So he actually really understands how joints work to avoid injuries. Shows you how to do good exercises there. Jeff Cavalier is a good teacher for that stuff. I would recommend checking out some of his videos on that. And fourth step here, no cardio beyond that, getting yourself to baseline of walking so you can build a good habit. Seriously, there is no reason for cardio. You're not going to run all that body fat off, not in a good way. Cardio can slow down and hamper muscle development. It can actually harm muscle development. This is pretty widely known out there. If you're going to do cardio, if you insist on doing cardio, do it after you do some weight training, or whatever kind of weight training you do. There's a lot of different ways of doing cardio. If you're looking for, if you have a job, of course, in life that requires you to be, physically active, then you're probably not the get to the baseline of steps a day type person anyway. But, there are functional reasons, I guess, to do some cardio. But at the end of the day, there's a reason you see the people in the best shape in the carnivore circles who are, doctors and, kinesiologists, exercise science specialists who tell you don't do cardio. It slows down muscle development. So there's no real reason to do a lot of it. Metabolically, in the long run, weight training is better and it's better on your joints. Fifth, here's where you're going to need a gym. I'll have a video soon on how to choose a gym in the future. Just know that most gyms are going to accommodate very hypertrophic training and strength training and cardio, but they're not going to do things like powerlifting. Like if you've ever wanted to be the man or woman who does 600-pound bench presses for 1 or 2 reps and 700, 800-pound squats for 1 or 2 reps, that's a powerlifting gym. And there are other kind of specialty gyms, CrossFit places and things like that may fit your goals, but you're going to need to know some basics on how to choose a gym, and I'll be working on a video on that soon because we're heading towards Christmas and New Year's where people have resolutions, and here's where this is relevant to this video. A lot of gyms will have Christmas sales. They'll be coming up soon. We're in late October. We're in mid to late October at the point that you're watching this. And they will have Christmas sales where the monthly membership and the initial fee that they charge at membership, a lot of times will be waived down severely so they can, get more members by the end of the year. Remember, these things we're talking about, pay per month kind of places. So you can have some commitment here because it can be kind of a hassle to cancel a gym membership. So you'll need to find a gym in the future because at some point, there's a case for home gyms, but they are cost prohibitive really unless you are really committed to, regularly exercising and you think you would do it better at home. Maybe you don't like people too much. Maybe you don't want to be around, guys who are preening in the mirror, flexing their muscles, or half-dressed women, or whatever your reason. You want to do it at home, that's fine. You got to be committed to it. And so there are a whole host of people out there who move from classic gyms to home gyms. And of course, you have to have the space for it. And sixth, underlying all of this is mindset. You got to have the mindset to do it. Exercise is as much in your mind as it is in the gym. You have to have the will to go to the gym regularly. You have to develop the habit. And they say it takes about a month to develop the habit to go regularly. This, of course, builds discipline, and of course, it helps build character. And all of this translates to staying on program for a carnivore or keto diet. Discipline in the gym translates very well to discipline on your plate. And we all need more discipline, let's be real. Okay. That having been said, there are some myths that I'll close out here with. Gyms are often full of, sort of egomaniacs. That can be the case, but most of the time, most gyms I've been to, and I've been to gyms in different parts of the country, and I go to right now the best gym I've ever seen, and it's weird that it's in my little town, 30 miles out in the middle of nowhere from Oklahoma City. But most of the time, they're just regular people. It really is just regular people trying to better their lives. Maybe they want to, have 14-inch biceps or 16-inch biceps. Okay, it's an interesting goal to have in life. I'm not going to judge anybody for having those kind of goals, but they're otherwise just regular people. You get to talking to some of them. There's a guy this morning that I saw that a couple days ago I was spotting him on the bench press. He was trying to hit a PR, a personal record on the bench press for 1 rep. That amount would have been 460 pounds. He didn't hit it, but the guy's a truck driver. That's what he does for a living. He drives truck for a living between Oklahoma and Tennessee. See him at the gym regularly. There are students at my gym. There are people who clearly have some sort of overnight factory job because they come in at 2 or 3 in the morning when their swing shift is over, and they come in and hit the gym before going home. There are other people who have to be at work at like 5 in the morning, so they're overnight when I get there, because I typically work out at 3 in the morning. I keep odd hours. I'm self-employed from home, and I like the gym at that time because there's not a lot of people there on a weekday, and I don't get distracted easily. Anybody who's there is pretty serious about what they're doing, instead of, preening in the mirror. Anyway, let me know if you found this helpful, what you wanted to see out of a how to choose a gym video and any other of those kind of fitness related videos, because at the end of the day, more muscle means a better metabolism. Also means you get to eat a little bit more. If you're like me and you like to eat, you want to do that regularly, more muscle is good. Anyway, let me know what you thought of this in the comments, please. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It really does help, as does sharing this on social media. That helps a lot as well. I'm Anthony Stine, the Practical Carnivore. Thanks for watching.